Hey, what's going on? I am Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today's topic is going to be Jacob deGrom and his new contract. But before we get started, I just want to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. Jacob deGrom, 5-year, $137.5 million contract extension with the New York Mets. That's an average annual value of $27.5 million for each one of those years. He has a full no-trade clause and opt-out after 2022, and the Mets have a team option for 2024. It's a very similar deal to the one of Chris Sale that he just got with Boston. Now, it seemed like the Mets were not going to be able to sign Jacob deGrom before opening day because that's the deadline that he set. He wanted to have signed by opening day. Didn't want to talk about during the season. And obviously, we are just 2 days away from opening day, and everyone else was getting their contract, whether it be Verlander or Sale. But Jacob deGrom was still sitting there, so it appeared like the Mets were not going to sign him, which would have been a big mistake. Last year, I said the Mets probably should have traded him if he wanted to rebuild, but bringing in Brodie Van Wagenen, they have shown that they wanted to go all in. So yes, it makes sense to extend Jacob deGrom and extend their window of opportunity, because let's think about it. Now you have deGrom long-term and Cano long-term. Those are your two veteran presence. Conforto, Nimmo, Alonso, Rosario, those are your young pieces that you could build your roster around, and then you add your depth guys like Wilson Ramos, Todd Frazier, Jeff McNeil. All of those guys get added into the mix in your competitive team and your competitive window. Look at that Mets bullpen. They are much improved. Obviously, this team is in win-now mode, and extending deGrom just shows that you are trying to win now for a longer period of time. Comparatively, this is actually a pretty good value deal for the New York Mets. Look at what Verlander just got. He's making $33 million. Greinke's making $32.5 million per year. David Price is making $31 million. That's a ton of money for those guys. Jacob deGrom at $27.5 is a steal. I mean, last year he was the best pitcher in baseball by far. Had a 1.70 ERA. His career ERA, 2.67. He was one of 6 pitchers since the new millennium to have an ERA sub 2. That's insane. Jacob deGrom's 2018 year was phenomenal. That's why he took home the Cy Young. And off of that phenomenal year, the Mets rewarded him with a contract extension. Brodie Van Wagenen could not have done a better job in this instance. Yes, he used to be Jacob deGrom's agent, so there's probably a little bias in there. He said that the Mets had to re-sign him, but they did. He put his money where his mouth was and then gave him that contract extension. deGrom was likely going to be signed through his age 35 season, hopefully making him a Met for life. This is a guy that you want to keep locked in long term. We know that the Mets usually don't like to pay anybody, so the fact that they went out there and extended one of their guys, hopefully making him a Met for his entire career, is absolutely awesome. Just think of all the guys that they've let go. Daniel Murphy. I mean, David Wright they held on to and signed. He's one of the only other options that they had that they extended and made him a Met for life. In free agency that we live in today, this free agency world where guys go from team to team, it's nice to see someone who will likely be a career Met. That's absolutely awesome stuff for Brodie Van Wagenen and the New York Mets. It's good because you're making this guy happy. Obviously, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and making him happy is great for this year, and it's great long-term too. Signing your ace for a long-term deal is so un-Mets-like. Usually they're the ones who say, okay, we'll get the good value in 2019 at $17 million, and then we'll get one more good year at, who knows, $20 million, let's say, and then you let him walk and wash your hands clean of him. Nope. Instead, they said, hey, he is very, very good. He is still in his prime. Let's make him a Met for life. That's what Brodie Van Wagenen did today. It is a phenomenal day in Mets history. Hopefully, he doesn't get hurt like Yoenis Cespedes did. But right now, as we sit in March of 2019, you absolutely had to make this deal, and Brodie Van Wagenen got it done. If you agree with me, comment below. If you disagree with me, comment below, or you can get at me at social media